It's been over 4 months since I've made a video on parachuting in PUBG, and since then, things have changed. On Xbox, the game mechanics didn't necessarily change when it comes to parachuting, but my approach and my strategy has. Now before I started doing what I'm doing currently, I normally would travel as far as I thought I had to horizontally, and then I would head straight down to stop my horizontal movement in order to get the biggest boost of speed to the ground as possible. I made a video on this about 4 months ago where I was able to prove that you didn't have to actually get the max velocity going straight down in order to get that extra boost at the end of your jump when you would pull your parachute. The trick was you just had to stop your horizontal movement and you would indeed get that boost. I realized that traveling as far as you need to horizontally right after leaving the plane was a bad idea. Instead, you basically want to make a diagonal line from the place that you drop out to the place that you're landing. And I'll show you exactly what I mean with a little image on the screen now. You know the old saying, the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line? Well, this is the same concept. Instead of traveling at a horizontal angle and then dropping straight down, you can simply just try to make as much of a diagonal line as you can, beelining it straight from when you jump all the way down to the ground to where you want to land. Now in order to do this, you need to get a feel for how far away you are from your landing location. If you're really far, you may just have to fly horizontally the entire time, or you may even have to pull your chute early, and this tip isn't going to work for that. This tip is mainly for medium to short range jumps. But I promise that if you learn how to do this and do it well, it will ensure that you're one of the first ones on the ground for those types of jumps. After ejecting from the plane, you want to start out in a flat horizontal angle. Then you're going to move your right thumbstick down to angle your character straight down, and you want to stay like this for 1 to 2 seconds. Then you want to flatten back out by moving the right stick back up. Then you'll just repeat this motion until you've got close enough to your destination to angle straight down. What this is going to do is it's going to give us that extra boost to the ground that we were getting before, except that we've improved the process beforehand. Now this sounds complicated, but really it just takes some practice and some getting used to. You want to think of it like a wave. You want to move the stick down and up until you get close enough to your landing spot. And then you want to keep the right stick down until your chute is deployed so that you get that extra boost. When using this strategy, I'm constantly one of the first to the ground at a popular landing location like Hacienda, school, Yasnaya, military base, and we all know that in this game, landing first can mean good things. Of course, what you do when you land is completely a different subject. However, getting yourself on the ground a few seconds before your opposition can only be a good thing. Now what I want to do is I want to show you a couple examples here so you can see what I do and maybe how far I am when I'm doing this, because it does take some getting used to, but I promise once you get used to it and once you get a feel for when you need to do what, it's going to improve your parachuting, it's going to let you get to the ground faster, and then hey, maybe the buildings will be rendered in and we'll be able to pick up a gun and take out some opponents that don't have one yet. Now in this drop, my friend and I are going to land Hacienda in a duos match. And it's a pretty close flight path, so we know there's going to be a lot of opposition there, so it's really important to try and get to the ground as soon as humanly possible. So, as always, we get as close as we can and we make our jump. Now, this is one of the medium range jumps that I'm talking about. You don't want to start going down as fast as possible. You don't want to do the wave just yet. You want to get just right, and then you start to do it. You go down for 1 or 2 seconds, you flatten back out. You go down for 1 or 2 seconds and flatten back out again. And then you just want to repeat this process until you feel like you're close enough. And at this point, I felt like I was close enough that I would just go straight down to the ground. I would still get that extra parachute boost, and then I'd be able to glide with the parachute to the ground. And you can see as I turn my parachute around that I am one of the first ones to the ground. There's no one around me and no one even close. So when I land in the courtyard here, you can see that there's no one else. There's no one else there. I'm the first one. A few seconds after I've landed and after I've already started to pick up a weapon, my friend lands and almost lands on my head. So obviously we jumped at almost the exact same time. I did the wave parachute method and I don't think he did. And so you can see that clearly this thing works and it works really well. And what's the big deal when it comes to landing first? Well, I got a gun. This guy doesn't. This one's another Hacienda drop and it's a much shorter jump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle myself down for longer periods of time and I'm going to angle myself horizontally for shorter periods of time. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to travel too much of a distance, but I also don't want to just go straight down. I want to give myself kind of a diagonal line from where I jumped out of the plane to my landing destination. And as you can see from this clip, I land on the ground, I find an M16 as soon as I land, and once I turn here, you can actually see when my friend lands. which is a good 3 seconds after I've landed. And again, the benefit of landing first, that guy didn't. Neither did that guy. So those are just 2 examples that I wanted to walk you through. Both were jumping at Hacienda. One was a little bit further than the other, but you kind of get the idea of what I like to do. Now this is no secret. It's been explained multiple times, but I still see myself as being one of the first ones to the ground when I'm playing in my matches, if I execute this correctly. Now there's times that you're going to screw this up, and it's going to kind of screw you over. If you go down too fast, you're going to land short. If you go down too slow, you're going to land long, and it might end up costing you the match. But when this does work correctly, if you can get it down, I've gotten it down pretty good now to where I don't hardly mess this up anymore, and I am always one of the first ones, if not the first one, on the ground to look for a weapon and to find somebody to kill. PUBG is all about finding little things that can help your game, help you a little bit. I'm not the best player, so I need as much help as I possibly can get. So little things like this give me the edge on some players that might be better than me, and in the end, it can get me a win. It can keep me alive at the start of the match, and we all know that's a great thing. So yeah, go ahead and give this a try. Let me know what you guys think. If you're already doing this, let me know if you have any other tips to provide as well in the comment section below. If you found this video useful or helpful in any way, definitely give it a like, and hit subscribe to stay up to date on everything PUBG Xbox. With that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, but until next time, I'll see you later.